Hello, everyone. I'm happy to welcome you to the sixth workshop within the framework of the program Dialogues of Collage and International Exchange of Ideas. This program is supported by the European Union through the House of Europe Grant Initiative. Today's session is moderated by the project manager Irina Kudrashova, and simultaneous interpretation is provided by Lola Macedon. My name is Annete Sagal. I am the initiator of this project. I'm delighted to introduce to you our expert, Sara Silvia Ferrucci. Sara Silvia Ferrucci is an artist, collagist, and art-based counseling educator with over 40 years of experience. She combines psychology, art, and personal history through profound experimental exercises aimed at creative self-expression. Sara, I give the microphone to you.
Hello, thank you. Hello to everyone, and welcome to this presentation that will be about creative exercises for collage artists. Before I start talking about the topic, I would really like to thank you, Annette, for organizing all this, you and your team. I've known Annette for a few years. We've met on Instagram and done a few things together. But I really want to say that I'm always admired the work you've done in the last few years, and that to me it's a really big example of resistance and resilience in the horrible times that you're going through. And I've very much admired your commitment to college art, all the events that you've done. Just to quote a few, the collage triangles on the walls of Kiev, the Cutout Festival, founding a school, and now this, getting a grant for them from the European Union. I mean, they're very impressive things. And to me, it's demonstrates that the best thing that artists can do in times like this is to uphold beauty in the face of destruction. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Okay, now I wanted to show you. No, I'm in the wrong thing. Just because not everyone knows how to spell a name, so this is my full name. Everyone calls me Sarah, so you don't have to worry about the Silvia, but it is my official name. I come from Rome, Italy, where I live. I spend quite a few months a year in England. And before, I've spent many years in the United States, which is why I'm bilingual. And I also went to college there where I studied art history. Maybe 40 years of experience is a bit too much. I am old, but not that old. But I did start painting pretty young. And then because besides studying art history, I did a master's in art counseling in Rome, 3-year master's, and one of the days was dedicated to using collage, and I just fell in love. Like I think hope happens to a lot of people with collage, because that's the kind of thing that it provokes somehow. And so since then, that would have been more or less 25, 26 years ago. Yeah. That's what I've been doing mainly. Um, I also added my Instagram handle so that you can see my work, but also you can write to me messages if there's anything about this lecture or anything else that you want to know. Okay, I'll come back to real life. Okay, this presentation is about creative exercises. There's a lot of them. There are available. I today will talk about 2 of them, perhaps 3 if we get to it, because I would like for you to actually hands-on do the exercises to appreciate, because I mean, they can be described, but of course, until you do them, you don't get a sense of what they're about. The good thing about them is that they're for everyone, meaning that if there's anyone but, here tonight who has never done a collage in their life, it's fine. It's good for beginners who have maybe doing the first steps in learning this form of art. And also, though, for collage artists that are experienced and that might add this practice, these practices to their current, way of working, because they are really, I find them really useful and fun as well. Okay, the first thing I wanted to ask you all is, obviously you're not going to answer me, but the first thing I'm concerned about is materials. Now, I know that in the presentation of today's workshop, they were mentioned. It's quite important that everyone has materials to use if they want to make collages during this time. What you need, basically, is paper. Okay. I'm hearing something. Okay. So cut pieces of paper, more or less this big or a bit bigger, but not too big because of the nature of the exercises, as you'll see in a minute. Obviously, scissors and glue.
Sorry, please turn off your microphones and thank you. Будь ласка, вимкніть свої мікрофончики, дякую. Sarah, your mic is off as well. I think it's no.
Do I have to start again?
No, you can continue.
Okay. All right, so I was talking about materials. So cut paper, or a sketchbook, which would actually be perfect. Yep, she's showing one. But I've actually got a here you go. So this is the various types of support or substrate, as we call it. A bit more of a fancy word. So pieces of paper, little booklets that you might have hanging around, or a proper sketchbook. I would suggest to anyone who doesn't have this to use the time where I'm introducing these collage exercises to create these materials, okay? So cut the paper, find the little booklet, whatever, and the rest of it, which is obviously cut out images. People who do collage usually have an archive of 1,000,000,001 pieces of of photographs or whatever that they have cut out through the years. I know I do. But you can actually do it right now while I'm talking if you don't. But today also, besides cut out images, I would like to introduce. Oh, that's why. Silly me. The concept of scraps that not everyone knows about and that you will be using, because scraps are all sorts of fragments. They can be created in different ways. They can be cut out, like a little pattern that you like, tiles, wallpaper that you see on magazines and whatever. Oh, by the way, the paper that you will use can come from magazines, books, anything really that is made of paper and can be glued. And you can cut things out, but the other thing that's fantastic about collage, I think, is that you can rip things out. So you can tear. So you can use your hands if you don't want to look, exactly. If you don't want to look, if you don't want to use your scissors, or even if you don't have them, they're not available, you can still obtain fragments. So usually what, again, collage artists who have been working for a while do is that when they cut something out, they don't throw out the part of paper that surrounds the images, but they keep it because you can always use it, right? And sometimes they actually produce pretty cool shapes. And so I know I don't throw out anything, which is a problem for space, but I think a lot of college artists do the same. And see, here you can see quite well how they are produced. These come from either cutting out a shape, or even when you do a collage, right? And you glue a piece that comes off the edge and you cut it, right? Because you want to go back to your original shape. This is the kind of stuff that comes out. Okay. So that's what scraps are. And there is like a entire sort of aesthetic of scraps. If you look through Collages on Instagram, which by the way is a fantastic place to have access to loads. The so-called college community is amazing. There's a lot of people and not a lot of things go on. I consider it, I've been on it now for 6 years. I consider it really a school. It's been like, going to school of collage by looking at what people are doing, ideas that go around, and blah blah. Okay, so what we're aiming at, I can't remember what the next slide is. No. Basically what we're aiming at is the possibility. Sorry, I'm trying to stop my, can I do this? Yeah. The possibility of creating, to a certain extent, especially through a sketchbook, a private, portable collage gym. Okay? So it's like you've got your little room that you can have with you all the time if you want to. And in there, you can exercise like you would in a gym. Not just make collages, but also engage in activities that can help you better your collage making. Plus, sketchbooks are, in the end, a little book of your work. They can have a theme, or they can't. It doesn't matter. But there's many ways to use it productively. It's good. I've got sketchbooks that I started years before and then end, 4 or 5 years later. And it's very good to see what your work does over time, right? So, and it's all in one place. You don't have to go look for, however you archive your work. What did I do in 2019? You might have it in the same sketchbook, and that's a good thing. And then again, a sketchbook can be taken everywhere, just as it's true for painters and, people who draw and stuff like that. People who write, of course. I would invite you tonight to avoid any performance anxiety, because the whole point of all this is to have fun and to learn a way to engage in taking risks and experimenting and being playful, because you are in an exercise gym. Nobody needs to see what you're doing if you don't want them to. Okay, so you're not doing the final product where there might be all sorts of anxiety and whatever about what you're doing. Okay? This is your stuff. It's for you. Mm. Okay. Now let's talk about a little bit more about these collage artist exercises and why should we do them? What are they for? They can be used in a lot of ways, and I'm sure that all of you are going to find more ways than the ones that I'm telling you about now. But now I'm just going to summarize, okay, some of the uses that can be good for you. So the first thing is to warm up, okay? So sometimes we haven't been able to do collage for a while. We feel a bit, exactly as in a gym. I'm going to have to keep using this example. Our collage muscles are a bit tired. They don't work that well. So these can be a quick way and functioning way to warm up and get those collage muscles to wake up again. Also, because of the nature of these exercises, as you will see, they encourage spontaneity. So rather than spend your time, working on composition, a lot of a lot of artists really work on composition, on, a precise style that they have and a way of making their work. These will invite you to be messy and to not pay attention to that kind of thing. To be spontaneous. And there's a reason for it, because when you're spontaneous, you are you, meaning that you're not trying to hit a target, a goal, some kind of result, but you're just letting it come out of you. Okay? How much of that you want to use in your normal practice, it will be up to you, but at least you get a place where you can just fool around, basically, and see what comes out of it. They are also very useful, especially the first one we will be doing, for when you have little time or little space to work. And that happens a lot. How many of us feel the urge to do a collage, and then it's like, oh shit, but in 20 minutes I've got to go there or do this or do that. I haven't got the time, right? Well, you do have the time. And if you get organized, you will always have the time. For instance, you could have a sketchbook, right? Which is a little space, easy to manage. Or you could have, for instance, pre-cut pieces of paper about the size I showed you before, and I'll show you again. Lying in a tray, for instance, and a little box of scraps and images always available. Takes up how big? Little piece of the table or of a shelf in your home, and you can always use them. Exactly. Something like that. See, I've got a perfect, I don't know how to say it in English. In Italian, it would be valletta, but I'm not sure what it is
Love
in English.
the sound of it.
A what?
I love the sound of how you pronounce it, the word.
Yeah, when they do like those quiz shows, there's always the woman next to the male guy. Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. Or brings little stuff. Okay, so another thing it does is it can help you overcome the fear of the blank page if you have it. And I would like to know if there is any um, artist in the entire universe who has not had the fear of the blank page at some point, right? Sometimes it's hard to start, right? Um, Now these can be a way to get through that fear, because they're short and simple, right? but they're activating you. So once you do a few of them, maybe you might be more ready to face the ominous blank page. And then another reason, which I don't think is a stupid reason, is to get instant satisfaction, right? So you could do it in very short time, and our satisfaction comes from creating something that never existed before, right? That's really what part of the satisfaction of being an artist is. And with these methods, you could do it quickly, right? So it's like patting yourself on the artist's shoulder. Mm? I can still do it, and I can do it whenever I want, really. Mm? I think also you will see that in these exercises, there are some rules, so to speak, right? There are some boundaries, some limitations. And I think boundaries at times are really important because they help us deal with the infinite possibility that art implies. And which is one of the reasons why people have a fear of a blank page. Oh my God, there's so much I can do. How do I choose? Okay. So these boundaries and limitations that we will be seeing tonight, they choose for you somehow, right? So they tell you what to do, and you don't have to worry about everything that you could be doing. Let's start from this, and then we'll see. Hmm? Also, they help you overcome overthinking, and they add spontaneity that we were talking before. Overthinking is a beast in art. So it's a beast in collage art as well. You move, you remove, then you put it there again, then you put it back. Oh, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And in the end, you don't know what you're doing anymore, right? So sometimes it's really good to just go with the flow, as they say, and see what comes out, because there is a part of you that always knows what they're doing. And these exercises are a way to get to that part. Hmm? Also, you've got complete compositional freedom, which isn't bad, meaning that they don't have a purpose. So it's not an illustration. It's not something that contains a message necessarily. It's not a labored composition. Yeah, it is what it is, what comes out. And that's one of the reasons why scraps are so great to use in this kind of exercise, is because scraps are various types of fragments. They can be, a ripped piece of paper. Okay. So they don't direct you towards storytelling or illustration or whatever. Finally, a good thing about scraps is that they are, how could I say, in fashion with the modern world, because they are a big demonstration of what recycling is. So you cut the piece of paper, there they are, again, my valletta, and instead of throwing it out, you put it away because you might use it. Collage by nature is a recycling art, right? Because it takes things that exist and change their use. That's also called not just recycling, it's also called upcycling, which means giving a more dignified use to basically trash. So it's a good modern use of art as well. Okay, so I invite you, therefore, tonight to enjoy completely the pure act of making a collage. and let your hands be your guide more than your head. And remember that you may, but you also may not, it doesn't matter, discover new ways of making collages that can enrich the compositional techniques that you already have. Okay. Let's start with the first of the exercises. The first of the exercises is called 5 minutes. Very original title. And the reason why it's called 5 minutes is because you make it in 5 minutes. 5 minutes to make a collage. What are you, crazy? It can be done. I've done it over and over again. And at the beginning, it's a bit hard, so don't worry if it seems a bit impossible, okay? Because I'm telling you it is possible. And actually, one of the things that I would like to underline is that the difficulties that you're going to find doing this can be precious, because they can tell you about more general difficulties that you have. So say that you take forever choosing, right, what fragments to use, or else you take forever arranging them on the page, or you take forever gluing, because you got to do that perfect gluing, right? Nothing needs to be perfect here. Nothing needs to be perfect ever, I would say, but especially not in these exercises, okay? One of my ways of referring to the 5-minute collages is while the pasta cooks, okay? Meaning that you do them when you find, right, the little space that you would usually ignore, right? Especially when you're in a period when you can't take out the space you would need and the time you would need to properly do collage. Another good thing about it is that you do not need to set up a workspace. This is often for artists who don't have a proper studio, it becomes sometimes, a bit of a problem. They have to go empty a piece of the table, put stuff on it, blah, blah, blah. That takes time, concentration. If you feel lazy that day, you're not going to do it. So with this method, you really need a minuscule workspace or the sketchbook if you've got it. Another good thing about it is, another expression I use, it's a quick fix. Okay? When you've got that like desire, but you don't have the time to satisfy it, this gives you the possibility to do it really quickly. About working quickly, strangely, working quickly allows you to tap into your individual style, because you've got none of the filters that you might use normally, right? Again, it's a matter of being spontaneous, right? And you can it'll just come out of you. And that will show you something about yourself that you might not know because you're too worried doing things right. So you could actually find yourself in front of some unexpected surprises. The important thing is to go with the flow. And from a very practical point of view, I want to remind you, now that you're going to actually do them, that you don't need to obsess with filling the page. Actually, you don't need to fill the page at all, okay? Doesn't have to be entirely covered in glued paper. Not at all. So you can take that preoccupation out of the picture. Okay. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to have one of these supports, substrates, whichever you have, okay? You're going to be using, if you have them, and I hope you do, scraps of various kinds, or cut images. Now, if you really have the desire to cut images during the 5 minutes, you can do it, but you're stretching it because it takes time to cut. So hopefully, if you want to do that, you've already got some cut pieces. If you see at one point that time is going by, I will call out 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then it'll be 5 minutes. Okay, so you've got an idea, and you don't have to be looking at the watch. I'll do that for you. If you see that you're still composing or searching for pieces to compose, don't worry. I mean, the one thing you can leave out is gluing, because you can glue later on, right? In theory, you should be able to glue as well. But if you can't, if you don't get to that point, it's okay, especially the first time we'll do it. And you can take a picture of it. Speaking of which, maybe Annette can tell us about how to use, because Annette knows much more than I do, how to download pictures on the chat. Can they do that?
You mean upload their own, or you
Yeah,
want?
upload their own if they want to show the collages they're making.
Yeah, they can just put it in the chat in here. Yep.
Okay. We're sure that everyone knows how to do that, right? It's easy. I'm speaking for myself. Okay, so everyone prepare their piece of paper or their sketchbook. Everyone have in front of you the scraps, the images, scissors if you need to cut something. Glue stick is the best thing to use in this kind of situation because it's quick. Not my favorite glue, but still in this situation, it's handy. Okay. And in a few seconds, I will tell you to start. And as I say, you will have 5 minutes to do whatever you want on that smallish piece of paper. I'm afraid I can't ask you all if you're ready. Unfortunately, I would like to, but I hope you are.
They can put in a chat, or put the heart, react with the heart if you're ready.
Oh, okay.
If you're ready, say you're ready in the chat, please.
Well, I see 37 people. We're going to see 37 hearts.
I see the hearts, I see the chat. Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that everyone's going to be more or less ready. Okay.
Yeah, if you can turn your camera on and put the screen like this so we can see what you're doing, this will be really cool. If you
If you
cannot,
want to, yeah.
it's okay too.
Okay. Because also, if you turn your screen on, if not now, later when you're done, we can also maybe show your little collages for those who don't want to be bothered with uploading them. Okay, well, I only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 people who to say they're ready, but
There were some more that reacted with the heart,
yeah, I
so
see them.
just
Okay.
start.
All right, I'm gonna just go for it, okay? So, as I said, I will tell you when 2 minutes and 3 minutes have gone through, so you know, okay? So we're gonna start now. 3, 2, 1, go. It is absolutely lovely to watch it. Because it's like an orchestra and everyone's playing their own instrument.
I wanted to say it looks like a paper beehive, and all the bees are.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, 2 minutes have gone by. You've got 3 left. Ooh, sorry. 3 minutes have gone by. You got 2 left, minus a few seconds. 1 minute left. "30 seconds, you should be wrapping it up. I would like you to stop when it is 5 minutes, because it's important to see what's happened. Okay? Nobody wins a prize for anything. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, breathe. Okay, now I don't know how it works, but I would love to hear some feedback, all right, about what happened. Not only to see, like we're starting to see on the chat. Fantastic. Look at the complexity. Okay, I think these first few collages demonstrate, right, that it is not true that it's not enough time to do anything, which I'm sure most of you thought. 5 minutes? Are you kidding me? I thought so too when I first encountered this. I didn't invent this, obviously. When I first encountered it, I thought the same, because it takes me at times hours to do a collage, days. But as we can see, look at what you can do in 5 minutes. Okay. So I would like to hear from, can they speak, Annette?
Yes,
If they want to?
you can either turn your microphone off and speak on and speak, or you can write it in the chat.
Okay. Right, exactly. I would like to have some feedback, both in terms of how it was from a practical point of view, and also, I mean, what kind of surprises, how you felt about it. Was it nerve-wracking, or was it absolutely relaxed? Just that kind of thing. So practical issue and emotional participation. Some have titles.
Olga, you can speak.
Yeah, hi. I'm very appreciative for this meeting. I'm not very confident in college. I just started right to do, and it was just maybe confused me because I don't have so many tools for this, but it's very interesting, and it was very nice and unexpected for me образи. Я не можу перекласти, вибачте, на англійську зараз швидко.
Я також забула.
Like images, what it can be, and it was very, very difficult for me, maybe, but I think it's very good technique for try to find your style.
Exactly.
I think, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I have to say that you are putting yourself down like we usually all do, but I find it really interesting what you did. You said, but I don't have a lot of material, right? But that's the whole point, that you don't need a lot of material. And that sometimes a collage artist gets lost in the material. Because again, that's the infinite possibilities. There's so much you could do. And then you start like almost drowning in the amount of fragments that you have put away in time. This way here, you just you do a very essential approach to it. And I can see that in the work you did, right? Because if I'm not 100% sure, it looks like it's 4 fragments. 3? No, 4.
A 4. It's just a 4. It was a cat and Madonna. She was with child, but I removed child because right now it's cat like child. So yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, look what you can do with 4 fragments, huh? And it's good to know that. Even if then in your own collage you're going to use 20 of them, but this is a good exercise in perception of what collage can do. Okay? Okay, thank you. I don't know if there's anyone else who would like to tell us about their...
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Why are
Firstly,
you
hello.
guys all black? I have to ask this.
What's black?
Why is it all black screen?
Oh, good question. Maybe because I was not using my camera. Let me
Oh,
check.
right. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'd like to see your faces. Thank you.
Okay. So good evening. Thank you very much for your guiding. Actually, I like how you use that. It's a bit nerve-wracking, so scratching, because me myself personally, when I know I have something limited time, I'm like, oh my god, I have to make some like a huge part, something, an idea and concept, and then I'm like, what should I do? And it's like the first half of a minute, and then when I take the scraps, it's a real journey, how they come to the hand and they make the concept. And it's also interesting how I thought of it as of a journey. And then in the end, I got a ticket from somewhere, I don't know from where I have it. And I got the text which says, let me take you in here, and some people. And it's really, really cool and calming knowing it is really possible. And it's something that I can like in the end without planning it 2 days and they say, nah, it's bad. So it was a cool idea and a cool image about the training gym, which really gives a lot of freedom, yeah, and a lot of like expressing yourself. So it was cool. Thank you for the guiding.
Thank you. And it's a great result because look how many things you did in 5 minutes. I mean, you basically created a theme, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just like blah, 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 duh, duh, duh. And also another thing I really like is, and I don't know if you do that normally, is the freedom with which you went over the border and you didn't cut it.
No, it's something new for me. It was something new for me.
Great. See? So there you go. That's what I mean by finding stuff that you didn't know about, that you don't usually do, that you never thought of doing, because, we've got these like internalized rules, an edge
Yeah.
is an edge, you cut it because
Absolutely,
that's the
absolutely. I
purpose.
can relate because in my life and like at work, like organized has to be like stuck and block and everything very clear. So it's like such a, I don't know, like an opening, a catharsis when you do it. I'm like, wow, it's actually what I think, what I feel. So yeah, thanks.
Wait until you get to the next exercise. It's even more like that. Fantastic. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
I don't know if I pronounce any of your names right. Have pity of me. Anyone else?
Anastasia. It's okay.
Deja. Anyone else would like to share verbally, apart from all this wonderful work I see? Okay, I'm very impressed, guys, because you're very I mean, the work is amazing. I mean, I've seen billions, not billions, many 5-minute collages, but these are just like incredibly complex. So very good. And I really, really hope that you will continue to use this system. Okay, now we've got a choice, which is...
Sarah, there's Maya. I think Maya would like to share. Yeah?
Sure.
Microphone? Microphone?
Добрий. Я вперше робила колаж за 5 хвилин, і вперше весь колаж я рвала, а не вирізала ножицями. Для мене це дуже такий бурхливий досвід, тому що це несподівано і я це можу. Тому і мені дуже сподобалось, що після робочого дня вийшла за 5 хвилин до ефіра і вирвала 3 сторінки, і ці 3 сторінки передала в цьому колажі. Дякую вам велике.
Please summarize.
Of course, I will translate it for you. Maya says that it's the first time has been doing this 5-minute exercise, and it's the first time that all of the images were ripped, not cut. And it's like a book.
It's like a double folder thing.
Yeah. And she went outside just right before the workshop started and found these pages, and now it's in the collage right here.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations I mean, it's also big compared to the ones I was suggesting. So, to me, that is a wonderful mess, because it doesn't attempt at all. It's abstract, and it's also very much based on the nature of the material, right? It's 3D because it's not flat. So I would say it's a wonderful achievement that they all are. I'm very impressed, guys. I have to say, to the point that in my previous I've been teaching for years well, I don't even consider it teaching, but anyway, a collage workshop, and we do these exercises a lot. So I remember the first time we did this, everyone was like frustrated. They had like little kind of pieces stuck on the paper, but they weren't satisfied at all, blah, blah. So we had to do it again and again and again. So I was expecting the same thing to happen tonight, and it's not happening at all. So good for you. And what was I going to say? And okay, so I was imagining that we would have to do it again. Okay, but maybe we shouldn't. Well, move on to the next exercise, because that might leave room for a third exercise that I wanted to do, but I didn't think we would ever get to it. Okay, so the second exercise is, if anyone, by the way, has got any difficulties they want to talk about, because there's got to be some, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Maybe there aren't, but put it in the chat, right? And maybe we can talk about them later. All right, so going back into share. Okay, now I just wanted to show you that to warm up for this presentation I did yesterday and today, I did some 5 minutes myself. Okay. A little bit more storytelling, and some more scrappy. Definitely scrappy these ones are, right? See that this here, for instance, is definitely cut out from another image, and so is this. But these shapes that come out, I love them. I just think they're incredible to use. Okay, so we're moving on to another, let's call it an exercise, although I think it's a bit more than just an exercise, which is intuitive collage. I've been doing these for a while, and they really are exceptional to do. They're a lot of fun, and they are also can be used as a form of meditation, definitely to relax. Okay. So in this case, there are no time limits, although I will give you a time limit myself because we can't be here all night, but you don't need to have one. They use mostly, the best thing to use, I think, is scraps again. And what you do is you take a bunch of scraps and you turn them around, upside down. So basically, you can't see what you're choosing. Okay? I don't know if that's clear. Right. Then, if you really want to do it the extreme way, you close your eyes even, and you feel, and you pick a scrap. Then you take the scrap and you glue it. And then again, you pick another scrap and you glue it. There is no intentional composition, okay? This is an exercise in following your intuition, trusting your intuition, that you can get to a composition that is not thought of, is not constructed, but spontaneously creates itself, okay? And about that, I want to read you these wonderful words by Carl Jung. Jung, they say, I say Jung because in Italian it's Jung. This is I think, exceptional description, okay, of what we're doing somehow, what we are basing this kind of exercise on. So I'll read it. Certain contents issue from a psyche that is more complete than consciousness. They often contain a superior analysis or insight or knowledge which consciousness has not been able to produce. We have a suitable word for such occurrences: intuition. Okay? So intuition is obviously related closely to the unconscious. So consciousness is what we do, knowing what we're doing, okay? Thinking about it, planning. But there's a whole different level, and artists need that level. I always like to quote Jackson Pollock, because you might have seen how he worked, like a crazy man, many would have said. And when they said to him, but how do you know what you're doing? And he would answer, my unconscious knows where it's going. Okay, so this is the sort of feeling we are working with. I'll show you very quickly, because I do not want you in any way to be inspired, because you have to be inspired by yourself. 2 results of these intuitive collages that I have done lately, okay? Just to give you an idea of what they can look like, all right? Okay, I would say that to do this properly, give it a decent amount of time, I would say we need 20 minutes. Anyone who is ready before that can, again, upload their work and do another one if you want to. So I'll repeat the instructions, so to speak. Okay, so you got the page, the substrate. You use possibly scraps. You put them upside down so you can't see what you're looking at and what you're picking. Possibly you pick them with your eyes closed so you don't even see the shape of them. Turn it around, put glue on it, stick it on the page. Repeat. And you keep doing that as long as you feel like it, as long as you find it's complete as far as you're concerned. Okay? So you can start now, and I'll let you know, like I did before, you know, how much time is going by. Okay? Have fun. I'm going somewhere for a few minutes. I'll be back, okay?
Прошу, а я не зовсім зрозуміла завдання. Це ми маємо перегорнути їх, типу, іншим боком.
Ви можете, щоб просто не бачити, що ви обираєте, ви можете перевернути їх іншою стороною, або ж просто обирати всліпу. Не дивитися, що ви вибираєте, це як інтуїтивно. Ви просто набираєте собі вирізки, а потім вже можете подивитися і скласти з них роботу.
Зрозуміла. Добре, дякую.
Oh, so I wonder if the question was, do I have to use them upside down?
No, Victoria just didn't really understand the exercise, so
Okay.
I just helped her translate.
Okay, thank you. I forgot to say that for this exercise, you don't need to necessarily use a very small substrate. If you want to use a bigger one, you can do it because you have more time, so. Remember to try and not compose. Okay? Let your hands tell you where you want to put things.
Very hard not to compose.
I know it is. But it's very useful. It's like you're getting in touch with another part of you. So you want to welcome that part and see what it has to say to you. It's still a part of you, but it's kind of latent, sleeping. And trust me, look. Annette, help me with questions in Ukraine language, because I can't do that.
Maya was just asking that she's if she can do it later and send it later. So yes, так,
Oh.
можно.
Send it when she wants. Okay, more or less 10 minutes have gone by, so that's half the time. There is a question about what was the first assignment. The first assignment was a 5-minute collage on a small, possibly substrate that you do in 5 minutes. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. You're welcome. I think there's a recording of this going on, so you can probably, Nata, if I'm pronouncing it right, take a look at it. I see it. Yeah, I'm seeing people also using, I don't know if it's a pencil or whatever, so. And that's absolutely appropriate. You don't have to only glue. You can also make any kind of trace on the collage that you feel like doing. And I consider it a good thing that someone is doing that, even though I didn't suggest it, right? It's like an internal need, which is what this is all about.
Хто вже закінчив і хоче поділитися, ви можете включити мікрофон, камеру і розказати або написати в чаті. Who have already finished, you can turn your mic and camera on and share, or you can write it in a chat as well.
Yeah. Okay, there's playfulness being shown. Wonderful. I really like the fact that you guys do not feel the urge to fill the page. That is a very important thing. Okay, you got about a bit more than 5 minutes, so you should be wrapping it up. And you might want to also try increasing the rhythm. See what that does. To make it even more spontaneous. Pick, glue, pick, glue, pick, glue. Trust your intuition, always.
I love these artworks.
They're wonderful, yeah. They're incredible. Yeah, I agree with Katerina. And well, I have to say that I've tried all sorts of meditation techniques, and nothing really does anything for me until I met collage. Collage for me is my meditation. And an exercise like this is even more so because you're going with the flow. And you're in the present moment. Yeah, and I'm an overthinker too, very huge overthinker myself, so it's like really a place of freedom.
Lisa would like to share.
Absolutely.
Microphone.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. I want to say thank you for this exercise because for me, I thinking a lot about composition, and I turned out, my scrubs, and I do everything with closed eyes. So it was that just touch and glue, and for me, and I heard about, oh, you can use like a composition, and I thought, okay, I make it with closed my eyes, whatever. And for me, no, I find this to exercise very helpful and very cool, and I'm excited about this lecture, and you like a lecture, and I like a lot. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Did you post your work?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have. It's someone else.
Oh.
I'll go look for it. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Great. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, when you're done, which is going to be in 2.5 minutes, more or less, if you aren't done already, I'd like you to tell me whatever you want, but also if some of you are interested in telling us how these collages compare somehow to the ones you usually do.
I would like to share about mine.
Yeah.
So I also picked everything with, I wasn't looking at it, and I was surprised that there are a lot of purple stuff, which is not, it's not really surprising because this box contains a lot of the similar things. But then I was like, I looked at while I was collaging, I looked at like how much of the purple color is on here, and I was like, I wonder why I didn't pick any of the yellow. Like I felt like I wanted yellow, and then I saw that the yellow piece was right here, like right near me, just laying here. And I was like, you're coming here. I need some yellow in here. And I also I'm more minimalistic. I use like 2 to 3 pieces to create a collage. And sometimes when it's like overloaded, I like to sit down and I like to like put everything on it and make it chaotic, and it does like this release of the energy and frustration. So this is kind of the same thing, and I really like it.
Great. Did you upload it though?
Yeah.
Because I saw another one at the beginning.
No, there's one like you can scroll, and it's the one with.
Yeah, I'm scrolling. There's so many. Oh, here it is. Oh, great. Yeah, yeah. Ooh,
Yeah, so
that is
everything was picked up randomly. Only the yellow was put there intentionally.
right, right. And let's face it, you're allowed to do some intentional intervention. I mean, we don't want to lie. We'll do that, and it's fine. But if the basic structure is done with that method, I think it's better, right? It's good for you to attempt. Okay, timer off, so you should be done, or really.
Irina is raising her hand.
Окей, на хвилинку з перекладачем, будь ласка.
I will translate it.
В мене навпаки. Тобто завжди я з колажа починаю от з того абстрактного, просто клею, просто медитацію. А сьогодні просто заліта одна тема, друга, третя. Тут треба зробити, просто накласти щось без ідеї. А в мене, знаєш, лється ідея. Тому дуже дякую, якось воно з іншого боку пішло.
Irina says that she usually does her art unintentionally with like what is happening, but today specifically she had an idea and she couldn't get out that idea of her mind, so she was doing that with an idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Elisa.
That's fine. Hi.
Hi. I would say like I have my own method for collage, and usually like basically I'm starting with finding the word, and then I build the image around the word or the meaning. And today is more like working with images and then trying to interpret it. And I'm finding it interesting that I still can recognize myself, and this self-conscious and trust in what I'm doing. It's a big surprise, and I think it's a lot of I can grab this experience from today and put it in my work, and I think it will be like great thing to implement.
Good.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. And yeah, that's the whole idea, right? That it's a path of discovery, and it's valid in itself, but then you can look at it and over time too, give it time. Go back to looking at it in 3 days, 7 days, a month, whatever, and you'll discover that there might be elements and solutions that you didn't even notice the first time that you looked at it, or when you did it, when you made it, right? And that they can be useful.
Yeah.
for
And
your
also
general
like
practice.
comparing this like 5 minutes exercise and in the second one, I would say for the 5 minute, I felt like it was 5 seconds, and I was so stressed, and even my hands start to shake.
Oh,
But for this one, I was feeling like so easy, so just trusting in what I'm doing, and just grab and glue it and done. And then just like at this moment, I'm done.
perfect. Because you knew. You
Yeah.
just know when it is, right? Well, there's two ways to look at this. Some people would say, well, okay, then do intuitive, leave the 5 minutes alone. But other people would say, because it was so stressful, you want to try those 5 minutes again. and see if you can get to a point, now that you've tried the intuitive, right, to sort of apply the same logic to the 5 minutes, right? And
Yeah.
and that could be so that you're doing the intuitive, but you're doing it really, really quickly.
Okay,
And
so now we can mix it.
yeah, you can mix it.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I will try it.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. It is also tempting to, because these are made the way they're made, right? Intuitively, it is tempting to look at them as somehow, how can I put this? The an internal map. So to see if there's something about them that tells you something about you that you maybe don't know or have considered not too important. So there is a side to it that's got to do with art counseling or art therapy, which I will be talking about next week, a week from today, in another workshop. Because it really is a fabulous way to get things on a page, to get your internal self visible to you. One way, of course, is words. Talking therapy is the most used therapy. But as we know, they come from a part of the brain, which is the left part, which is related to rational thinking, right? Whereas here, you're really using your right brain. So your control over it is close to nothing. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have a lot of important things to say. It to a certain extent, it's a bit like dreams, right? The logic of dreams. Well, we'll talk about this next week for those who will be there. Okay, anyone else wants to share something before we move on to the final exercise, which I'm very excited that we're going to do because I didn't think we would have time, so.
Anastasia?
Yep.
So, hello again. That was my piece. Wanted to
Yeah.
share the experience because how random it was. Most of the scraps I used because I didn't have from me. I usually have the bigger pictures. The friend of mine gave me a set of the random ones. She's actually also in this chat as a participant, and I turned them over and was picking so randomly. And believe me, I was a bit nervous. I was a bit tense because I thought maybe something I would pick will be like a stranger for me, something foreign. Because for me, the collage and making the concept were usually about putting an intention in it, like beforehand. Yeah, like it's pre-intended. It's not like you randomly pick, especially as the pieces were random. I was like, what is gonna be? Do I lose myself? Where is my handwriting? Where is my style? But absolutely unexpectedly, I would like blindly pick something which is so characteristic for me, like a red color and the words which I adore. And I picked them, and it was so cool from the unconscious part to still get back to myself. Like a really, really interesting exercise. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you talked about something really interesting that we can relate to Jung, right? Jung had this concept of synchronicity, which is also in a Police song, made it famous, pop in a pop way, so to speak. And synchronicity is a bit like, coincidence. So, but of course he doesn't see it like that. Coincidence means, well, it just happened, right? Two things are related out of coincidence, right? Nobody's choice, it happens. Synchronicity is a bit different because it somehow what's the word? The position is that there is something going on. We just don't know what it is, right? And so, why did the red come out? God knows. We'll never know. But the important fact is that it did, and that it is related to you. Okay. And it's in this kind of exercise, in this kind of way of working, that you can find this. You can't find it if you think with intention. You're not finding anything if you use intention. You're producing something, and you might produce something great, but it's not a discovery, right?
It's not the magical discovery, exactly.
And you have this opportunity to discover, which is incredible. And it usually, I mean, to me, it gave me great satisfaction. And I am a planner, although I'm a planner, meaning that it takes me time to make a collage. But I never, ever, ever start with a message or a word or an intention from that point of view. I always start with a fragment. That's my first thing. I pick a fragment, whatever calls me. It calls me. And then I start building around that. Now, when I do that, I am not, free flow. Although sometimes I myself are surprised about how I chose the other pieces. I have no idea on earth. They just come to me somehow. They're there, and I'm searching, and all of a sudden I know it's the right one. But I don't really know why. I might understand why later, but not while I'm doing it. Okay? All right, so if nobody else wants to say something, we'll go on to the third and last exercise. Does anyone?
I just want to quickly translate to you what Katerina said, because I think it's important.
Yes.
Said that last year she had a similar experience. We had the blackouts, so we had no electricity or lights, and there were like sirens and
oh, that's the photo of the candles.
Yeah, and she had the collage workshops scheduled, so they were doing the intuitive collage with candles, and also like picking in almost dark space. They were picking the pieces and collaging together. That's
fantastic. I mean, it's not fantastic why there was a blackout, but it must have been a great experience.
It helps. It helps, definitely. Yeah. We can move on to the next one.
Okay. All right, so the next one is this one here, and it's 2 cuts. So it's about making a collage with only 2 elements, 2 fragments, or 2 images, okay? Annette was talking about minimalistic. This is as minimalistic as you can get. Well, you could have 1, but at least if you got 2, you actually do a composition. Now, this is an exercise in composition, right? Less like the previous ones. It's about how it's about basically less is more, if you know what I mean. It's a famous expression coined by an architect, but it's used by a lot of artists too. So it's like how to put 2 things together, which means that you're reducing to the limit, the minimum limit, what composition is. And again, this is a great exercise for then doing more complicated and complex composition. One of the things I like about it, here you see two that there was a moment when I got like fixated on it. So I made constant 2 cuts because it's that kind of thing. It's a bit addictive. For me, what it taught me was to not fill the page. I'm a page filler in general, but with this, it would be quite complex to do it. You can do it, but so it taught me to enjoy not filling a page. Okay. So you do that, and you can make as many as you want because obviously they might be quicker because there's only 2 elements. And I'd say, somewhere around 10 minutes. So then we can wrap it up afterwards. We got a few minutes to say goodbye and talk about what you did.
Sounds good. I would like to share before.
Please do.
So I shared my sketchbook, and there's the first one and the last one in it. And I wrote, "This is boring," but it's not about the workshop. It's just the concept of the sketchbook is how do I say it? Like the body and the perception of the body, I think, kind of like that. The tactile things. And so this one reflects on like men looking at women and tell them what to do and how to dress, and that they want more or they want less, and like, yeah, this is about it. And the second one, which is a two-piece collage, the bigger part of it, it's a veil, it's a wedding veil, and then you can see like the legs behind it. So it's kind of the whole thing together coming is kind of like men judging on women's appearance, kind of like that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, you are just about done now. Now, of course, a lot of what I said about the 5-minute applies to this one too, right? So it's one of those while the pasta cooks type of experiments, okay? And it really shows one of the guiding forces of collage, which is that compositionally, it relies on juxtaposition more than other art forms, right? Ta, ta. Okay, so if you strip it down to two pieces, you can really appreciate that and start to work on that concept, and then it can grow and become a more complex piece. But I could even imagine that you could start doing a two-cut and then make it into something bigger. These are great. I've put hearts next to a lot of works, but I couldn't make it to all of them, but there's a heart for all of you because it is really great work. To the point that I'm asking myself how many of you, I mean, to me, it looks like you're all actual collage artists, not beginners, and certainly not people who have never done anything. It will actually be, I don't know how you're going to do this exhibition, Annette, but
it will be online.
Online, yeah, it would be great to see a section of, of these collages made with the same principle. Oh, look at that. They're marvelous. I mean, that's what's great about it a lot of times is that it's incredible that it's only two pieces. You would never believe it.
It's so simple, yet it can tell a lot just with the two pieces. Like
Yeah, I mean, that's...
I can read into so many stories here.
Oh, please. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's like learning minimalistic. Oh, see? Minimalistic storytelling. And that's another thing, you know, when you do creative writing courses, sometimes they have exercise like that, right? Tell it in 5 lines. Because it's a skill that you want to learn if you're going to tell a story, right? Because sometimes, you know how you read books that they go on and on and on? It's like, for Christ's sake, you could have said this in like half a page, right?
If
Okay,
anyone
so
would like to share, you can turn the mic and camera on, or you can write it in the chat.
exactly. And I would also like to hear, if you want to, a little bit about the entire experience, okay? Today you did 3. As I said, there's many more that we could do. But, you know, what was the feeling? How do you feel now, basically, that you've done these exercises, and what have they given you?
Olha?
Hi, first of all, I want to thank you for this fantastic experience and exercises. And for me, the last one, it's my top of something new that I never done before. And this launching of 2 pieces, it's literally like another level of something. Because usually I like to use a lot of details in my collages and think about story, what is behind. But with 2 pieces, it's something completely new for me. Thank you very much. And also the idea to use these scraps, I've done it before, but it was never so fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, fun being a key word here. Because I mean, collage is like all art, can be very serious, and it should be too. I'm a bit of a dramatic collage artist. I'm not, you know, I don't follow the surrealist Dada mode. But sometimes I make an effort because it's very important to use it also as a way to play. But play seriously, not play just, or even just play. Why not? That's a good one. These are really fantastic. I'm very impressed. If you fish around in Instagram, you'll find that there are a lot of college artists who do this, do the 2 cuts. So if you scroll a bit down their pages, you'll find interesting stuff. So anyone else want to share something? Anything that comes to mind? Well, I'm glad you're not shy college artists, even though you're a bit shy. Maybe. Oh, there's someone.
Paris? Yeah.
Microphone.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me
Hello.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was very, yeah, the whole experience was great for me also, like, because I have tons of folders and bags full of material to use. I have written down ideas of college ideas I want to make. And still I'm not making them because when I open up these folders and bags of books, I'm so overwhelmed that I'm not doing it. And some of these pictures, I perceive them kind of like precious, let's say, and I don't want to ruin them in the wrong collage. Like, yeah. So this gave me the permission, let's say, to get over myself, my head,
Exactly.
and play around with it.
That's why they're precious.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward for more workshops like this.
Great. Get yourselves, all of you, get yourselves a sketchbook dedicated to this. You know, to one of them that you like particularly, or to all of them if you like them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the play sketchbook.
Yeah.
And that'll get you into a mood where then you won't be so, concerned, right? Because that's not what art should be. Art should be self-expression. I mean, it can be serious and hard, but it doesn't have to be hard in the making. It's hard in the content, maybe. But you should just be able to go to it like it's, a part of your body almost. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 2 minutes. So in these 2 minutes, I want to thank you all. It was great doing this. I repeat, incredibly impressed by the work you've done. I think a lot of it's going to end up in that exhibition. And it was really fun to verify that these exercises that I love very much work and are appreciated. So thank you again, and I'd like to remind whoever wants to that a week from now, I'm going to do a workshop on the use of collage in art counseling. And it'll be more of a lecture style. But there will be also, I want there to be also a part where you actually make a collage. It's important. Okay. Any very final words? Because there's like a minute left.
Yeah, I would like to add that, as we said before, that the whole summing up of the whole project, of the whole workshops, will be an online exhibition. So I've just shared the link to a Google Drive folder where you can upload your artworks created today or created on the previous workshops or on the workshops that will be going further. And yeah, so whenever you can do a photo, I know it's late right now, so it might be the lighting. So if you can do a photo in the daylight and just upload it in the folder with your name on it, so I can identify you. And I will also share again the link to register for next workshops. You can just pick the date. The next date is 4th of June. We will see Sara next week, and then we will have 3 more workshops. Thank you so much, Sara. It was amazing. It was such a great. I think it's the first workshop where we had so many artworks created.
I know. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, everyone.
Hopefully I'll see some of you next week. And thank you.
If anyone else wants to share a few words more, and then we can finish. Okay, then. I thank again everyone. Thank you, Sara, for being with us. Thank you, everyone, for joining from all over the world, and we'll see you next time. The recordings will be available after the whole program ends, so in July.
Okay. Long live collage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon.